Hi students, welcome back to my class. Let's continue our chapter Why Do We Fall Ill? Dears, today we are going to discuss a new topic, organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Do you know what is manifestation of a disease? Manifestation of a disease means clear signs of existence of a pathogen in the body of an organism. The disease-causing microbes enter the body through different means. Where do they go then? The body is very large when compared to the microbes. So, there are many possible places, organs, or tissues where they could go. Do all microbes go to the same tissues or organ, or do they go to different ones? Different species of microbes seem to have evolved to home in on different parts of the body. In part, this selection is connected to their point of entry. If the microbes enter from the air via nose, they are likely to go to the lungs. This is seen in the bacteria causing tuberculosis. If they enter through the mouth, they can stay in the gut lining like typhoid causing bacteria, or they can go to the liver like the viruses that cause jaundice. Dear students, but some microbes enter through different routes into the body and show their effect in other organs or may affect the whole body. Let's discuss some examples. An infection like HIV, human immunovirus, that comes into the body via the sexual organs, will spread to lymph nodes all over the body. And the another example, Plasmodium. What is Plasmodium? Yes, that is a malarial parasite. So, malaria causing microbes entering through a mosquito bite will go to the liver and then to the RBC or red blood cells. Then, the virus causing Japanese encephalitis or brain fever will similarly enter through a mosquito bite, but it goes on to infect the brain. The signs and symptoms of a disease will thus depend on the tissue or organ which the microbe targets. If the lungs are the targets, then symptoms will be cough and breathlessness. If the liver is the targeted, there will be jaundice. If the brain is the target, we will observe headaches, vomiting, fits, or unconsciousness. In addition to these tissue-specific effects of infectious disease, there will be other common effects too. Most of these common effects depend on the fact that the body's immune system, that is very important, the body's immune system is activated in response to infection. An active immune system recruits many cells to the affected tissue to kill off the disease-causing microbes. This recruitment process is called inflammation. As a part of this process, there are local effects such as swelling and pain and general effects such as fever. In some cases, the tissue specificity of the infection leads to very general seeming effects. For example, in HIV infection, the virus goes to the immune system and damages its functions. Thus, many of the effects of HIV/AIDS are because of the body can no longer fight off the many minor infections that we face every day. Instead, every small cold can become pneumonia. Similarly, a minor gut infection can produce major diarrhea with blood loss. Ultimately, it is these other infections that kill people suffering from HIV/AIDS. The HIV infection, the virus goes to the immune system. It affects the immune system. It is also important to remember that the severity of disease manifestations depend on the number of microbes in the body. If the number of microbes is very small, the disease manifestations may be minor or unnoticed. But if the number is of the same microbe large, the disease can be severe enough to be life-threatening. The immune system is a major factor that determines the number of microbes surviving in the body. Okay. Then dears, let's move another topic, principles of treatment. What are the steps taken by your family when you fall sick? Have you ever thought why you sometimes feel better if you sleep for some time? When does the treatment involve medicines? Based on what we have learned so far, it would appear that there are two ways to treat an infectious diseases. Let's discuss about this. Okay. The first one is to reduce the effect of diseases. And the second, to kill the cause of diseases. So dears, for the first, we can provide treatment that will reduce the symptoms. The symptoms are usually because of inflammation. For example, we can take medicines that bring down fever, reduce pain or loose motions. We can take bed rest so that we can conserve our energy. This will enable us to have more of it available to focus on healing. So, to reduce the effect of disease, it involves by taking medicines to reduce fever or pain or loose motions, taking complete bed rest to conserve energy. But this kind of symptoms directed treatment by itself will not make the infecting microbe go away and the disease will not be cured. For that, we need to be able to kill off the microbes. That is second one, to kill the cause of diseases. To kill the cause of diseases. How do we kill microbes? One way is to use medicines that kill microbes. You know that, for example, antibiotics. What is antibiotics? Chemicals which can kill or stop the growth of some pathogenic bacteria or the microbes. Examples, penicillin, tetracycline, etc. Okay. Dears, we have seen earlier that microbes can be classified into different categories. They are virus, bacteria, fungi or protozoa. Each of these groups of organisms will have some essential biochemical life process which is peculiar to that group and not share with the other groups. These processes may be pathways for the synthesis of new substances or respiration. These pathways will not be used by us either. For example, our cells may make new substances by a mechanism different from that used by bacteria. Our cells may make new substances by a mechanism different from that used by bacteria. we have to find a drug that blocks the bacterial synthesis pathway without affecting our own. Okay, we have to find a drug that blocks the bacterial synthesis pathway without affecting our own. This is what is achieved by the antibiotics that we are all familiar with. Similarly, there are drugs that kill protozoa such as the malarial parasite. Dears, one reason why making antiviral medicines is harder than making antibacterial medicines is that viruses have few biochemical mechanisms of their own. They enter our cells and use our machinery for their life processes. This means that there are relatively few virus-specific targets to aim at. Despite this limitation, there are now effective antiviral drugs. For example, the drugs that keep HIV infection under control. My dear students, hope all of you understood today's class. If you have any doubt, please contact me. We are going to wind up our class here. Thank you. Have a nice day.